Welcome to another video where we will be looking at fitting the top box carrier and also the side panniers for the CB125 F 2026. I've already replaced the top box carrier, as you can see here. To do that, you take this grab rail off, which is bolted on by 4 bolts here. Undo them 4 bolts, which they are the original 4 bolts there because they're not long enough. And then what you do, you carefully put this into the gap, put the 4 bolts in, and there's your top box ready to go. The top box clips on there, and I'll show you that later. So let's look at the changes to the rear indicator lights and seat opening lock position, which they have moved on this bike. And I've just noticed that when I've come to put the pannier rack on, and it makes the job a lot easier. So follow along and I'll take you through it. So on this bike they've moved the seat key lock from here to here. It used to be in this part of the bodywork here. They moved it down here and it's in its own little box. They've also moved the indicators, because they used to be here. They've moved them further backwards, which is an advantage if you want to put this pannier rack with the panniers and the top box on, because originally if you buy the kit from Givi, they give you this device here, which you have to bolt onto the back of the bike like so, and these indicators on the previous fitting had to be removed from here and placed into here. Now this is not needed anymore, and I'll show you why. Because they moved the indicators from here to here, it means that when this rack goes onto here, like so, which we're going to do in a moment, and we put the panniers on here, which we're going to show you in a minute, you'll see the indicators don't foul up. So these indicators used to be here and they would hit the box. So now there's a lot of effort going into fixing that plate on the back and moving the indicators. Now that doesn't have to be done. So now we've got the top box rack on, which was basically just taking the grab rail off, 4 bolts, and bolting this on. We'll now get on to putting the frame for the side panniers. So what we're going to do now, here is the side pannier rack, which we're going to bolt onto here and also onto the foot peg here. I have done this in a previous video, so I'm just going to briefly show you how it's done. Need a spacer on there. The nut goes behind here. So we're just going to leave that loose there for a moment while we sort out this part here on the bottom, on the foot peg. To do that, we're going to take the pin out of here. The pin will come out, and there's your foot peg off. And we'll just nip this up with a spanner. Making sure they can go up and down. And then we put this onto here. I'm going to use that washer that was on the foot peg for the inside. The nut on the bottom. I'm going to tighten that up. Now I'm going to tighten this bolt up here. so. And we can try the side pannier on that. So here is the side pannier. I'm just going to clip onto here like so. And as you can see, the indicators now don't have to be removed. Previously, on the previous model, you had to use this bracket because the lights were always in the way. You took them off and you put them on this bracket here, which bolted onto there, and your lights were down here. You don't have to do any of that anymore. So here we are, we're going to do the right hand side pannier back now. And before we do that, we're going to take this off, because when you tighten the bolt up here, you're very near to this chrome, you might scratch it. So if we undo this, it should come undone, with it being nice and new. So now we're going to take this pin out the same. Take the pin out, leave that there for later. So now it's time to bolt this onto the back. Now this is difficult because you haven't got much space behind there to hold the knot while you get the thread started. But once it starts, it should be fine. So there we are, we have that mounted. Now we need to do the same as we did for the other side and take this one here, put peg back on, that goes on there, that box on there, I'm going to tighten it up. And then we're going to use this washer again to go onto there. And that knot goes on there. Now the reason you have to remove this is because this knot is so close to there when you start it off, you won't get it on otherwise. Let's tighten the back up here. So now we fitted the back, let's just put this guard back on. Make sure you have the rubber bungs in there. And I can push it on and replace that screw. To finish the job off, there's a support that goes between here, or a strap should I say, between the two racks, one either side. That goes into there, and you will find that these are sprung open, so you need a bit of rope here. And you'll need something just to twist and pull the two parts together. And once you've got two bolts in, you can release the tension on the rope and continue to tighten the screws. both sides. So now we have the top box carrier fitted. We also have the pannier rack fitted, which is bolted to the foot peg there, and also to this strap on the back. We've also fitted the rack on the other side, which is bolted to there and strapped to there. Now there is a video on my channel showing how to fit this whole system, and I'll put a link to the video and also to the details of what rack this is and what carriers I'm using. And as you can see, the only difference between this bike and the previous bike is the fact you don't have to do any work on the indicators, and I'll show you why now. So here is the pannier. Remember, we haven't done anything with the indicators. And as you can see, the indicators are clear of the box. Marvellous. So let's put everything on and see what the bike looks like, complete. And I think it looks really good, to be honest with you. So remember, if you check out the previous videos of me doing the top box and the panniers, the video is exactly the same as this one. The only thing you don't have to do with this bike is any electrical work at all. If you have any questions on the install, please leave a comment and I will try and help you the best I can. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.